So the film is a responsible dramatisation. The 300 accounts were very, very useful as part of a wide range of historical material and resources. In many ways, a key source, those accounts. But they fed into the general research. There's nowhere in the film specifically where we've dramatised something from those 300 accounts. But reading those accounts has made it possible to bring the whole thing to life creatively and inventively. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, we certainly used, like the Reverend Stanley, who was standing above in the same house as the magistrates and standing above and looking down at the field, in order to set up what happens when and what moment does Henry Hunt turn up and so on. You certainly use those eyewitness accounts to get the order, as it were.
There's no end of material available on this subject, apart from the fact it has been quite thoroughly written about over the years. You've got, have you not, the National Archive at Kew, the British Library, the very good museums in Manchester, the Chetham's, People's History Museum, the Central Library, etc. And newspapers of the period, which we looked at, very helpful.
You're slightly reliant on the labouring class, working class people who've written autobiographies. So a key member of the labouring class is the great radical Samuel Bamford.
And who figures in the film.
Who's one of the characters in the film. So he is a handloom weaver, silk weaver, from Middleton. But of course he's clearly had some learning. He went to the grammar school, he was taught by Methodists in the Sunday schools and so on, and then was self-taught, self-learning as well. And he is clearly very literate and erudite, and he, as I say, writes these two major autobiographies. And there are other examples of that. And we obviously looked at him in particular because he was a character in the film. There are other books that, for example, Emma Griffin's book, Liberty's Dawn, which talks about and uses the experience of the labouring class through their autobiographies, letters, and so on. But again, you feel like you're sort of seeing the tip of the iceberg, because how many people were writing autobiographies in this period anyway, let alone from the labouring class?
For example, I mean, one of the key factions in the film is the group of magistrates. Now, we kick off with our first view of three of the magistrates, who were all actual magistrates that existed, that we've portrayed by researching them. You see each of them doling out extreme stentorian punishments for minor offences, somebody is hanged for stealing a coat, and somebody's sent to Australia for another minor demeanour, transported. That's really the bad side of it. But when you see that group of magistrates, who in the end behaved very badly collectively, but within them there are voices of questioning and reasonableness and things. So what we've tried to do, and I think it's the only thing to do, is to make the world that we're depicting, bring it to life and make it real, and see people as strong and weak and vulnerable and and well-intentioned and badly intentioned and all of those things. And really, we had no struggle whatever with our ideology at any level, because we knew what we were dealing with, and as I say, it sort of looks after itself. You see, the thing is this: you can read all you like about something that happened, but bringing it to life and making it happen in front of the camera is a whole different ball game. I mean, it's locked in a book until you activate it. And activating it, you can't just say, oh, well, this is what happened, act it, because it would be as dead as indeed some films are where they do that. This is the territory of intelligent, committed, sharp character actors. Did the research, people came, everyone researched their character, and they all came with stuff way beyond what would finally wind up in the film, but it all informed the energy of the film, the truthfulness of it. So all of that goes on, and we spent 6 months doing all of that stuff before we ever went out with a camera. And that's what I do. And so in a way, it's no different from, one of my films where people are in a contemporary suburban house arguing with each other on a staircase. It's just a bigger version of the same thing, really. Real people, real. If the 60, 80, 100,000 people who were there at Peterloo, if they could be put into a time machine and brought to 2018, first of all, they would be shocked and horrified and disgusted by the fact that the thing they were fighting for, the vote, we have the vote, and people don't use it. Peterloo ends and leaves you in a very emotional place because of what happens right at the end. It leaves you a space to be sympathetic, to be angry, to have a whole variety of feelings and emotions. And it's not so much that we thought, oh, well, then people can go away and find out about it, which they can, but they're simply, apart from that, at an even more fundamental level, that they can do what I always do with my films. I never say, think this. I say, experience this, and now digest it, reflect on it, meditate on it, argue about it, etc. And I think that's how it should work, really.